What's up, YouTube? What's happening? The video gonna be about old Kanye West. Old Kanye West. Now he got a song out called "Cousin," and allegedly him and his male cousins was experimenting, freaky deaky, and he admitted in the song, and he's trying to say which leads to his behavior. He also got a song about his estranged wife Bianca. He always puts all his stuff. Well, most artists do put their stuff in their music, the good, the bad, the in between, the ugly. Now, most people think Kanye is quite. They think he out of his mind, but there be truths in what he be saying. It's interesting when he name drops certain people. I know he's under a lot of fire because he's spoken out against Jay-Z and Beyonce. Unfortunately, he mentioned their children, which I didn't condone. But when he talked about them and so on situations with business practices, I believe him on that. He's supportive Diddy. Well, most people are going to think that he's on them videos or something that's surfacing. So there was some stuff and all that. And with Kanye, as cray as he is and all the stuff that's been proven, there's some truth in all that. So now he comes out and talks about him and his cousin when they were boys and little boys and the things that they did. And, he talked about question, how he is and how it's impacted and affected him. There's a lot going on with Kanye. We ain't gonna never understand it. But when I read all the stuff about what he said about his male cousin, who he said is doing a life bid right now, it got me wondering, okay, you're admitting this, but what about the ones in the industry that have turned you out? When's that gonna come out? What song is that gonna be on? Because he dropping riddles and clues. He's got a lot to say, but then you just gotta kind of wonder, where does this pipeline eventually go to? And of course, he's shrewd. He's very manipulative, and he know what he's doing when he markets and puts it towards music. But he's such a big name. It's one of them situations that people will listen to what he says still, even though his peak and prime was pretty much almost 20 years ago. I mean, college dropout, all that, late registration, 808 Heartbeat was probably when people was the great divide with him. He had people curious about his directions and his themes and so on and so forth. But more and more as time has gone on, he has divided people based on his political beliefs or things he says or how he says them. And he's become a punchline and a joke for a lot of folks. It's hard for them to take him legit as an artist, or they question him, his mental capacity. I do believe that underneath all that manipulation and all the stuff, there is pain that's obviously there, and there's definitely a lot of trauma that's went on. And he pretty much as said that he wished he hadn't turned his mother out to the industry and stuff, so sacrifices and so on. So you can run with that however you want. But when I make a diss with him talking about his cousin or talking about his wife, I'm like, what's next, Kanye? You gonna talk about the dog and the bone, and because everything is coming to how much of it are you going to say to try to sell it, and what is your end purpose in this? But I do know that there's a lot more that goes there. Yeah, there's a cat that's been hurt, cat that's been sacrificed. Oh yeah, because in that industry, and in his defense, the one thing I'm going to say, they just wanted him for his beats. Only Damon Dash bought him as an artist. Jay-Z didn't want him as an artist, and Through the Wire, it took a minute before that caught on. I remember that. It took a minute before his solo career caught on, but when he caught on, he caught on. Now I've always said that he was like a Junior Whopper version of Diddy, but a better producer. But he caught on, and in his antics and everything that's going on, the semantics, there's a lot going on, But where is the end game? Who and what he identifies with, etc., etc. It's cold calculation, it's strong manipulation, and people still buy it. He's still living large, though. He's still, in his element. So he is a perfect example of narcissism, pop stars, that this is what the troubled ones are, the bigger ones in that industry, the cap, contradictions of the highest order. Because people like to see it rise, fall, and tumble, and come back again. And he's just an amalgam of, he's just a reflection of all that. Because he one of those people, because he says stuff so openly and so, but then he says it in such riddles, you just sitting there scratching your head if you're interested. But this is his latest talking about his male cousin and him, and you know, and then other things where he talked about his mother's, you know, personal business. There's a lot of stuff he airs out, so we don't know where the inroad's gonna be, but there's gonna be somebody that's gonna always listen, because whatever name he goes by, Kanye, Yee, whatever name he go by, he know that he didn't crack the code, and that's what people like, especially in a day and time, entertainment, and you know, the whole nine. But when is it not entertainment anymore? When is it that you do need to sit on the couch and just kind of get that out you? Because how much are you going to reveal? And then we do wonder, where does this yellow brick road lead to? Because we know somebody in the industry then cold flipped on you. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. Share the video if you like. Hit the membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke. I'm out. Peace, one time.